Welcome back to KK's Quilt Studio. Today we're going to get creative using the free block of the day brought to you by Quilt-Pro 6 and turn it into something fabulous using our Art and Stitch design software. Let's get started. Navigate your web browser to Quilt-Pro Systems and under the freebies you'll find the block of the day. I've already loaded the page, so let's scroll down. Here you'll find 4 times a week you'll be given free designs of blocks or quilting designs that you can use in your Art and Stitch design software. The designs are loaded for Windows or Macintosh operating systems, and all you need to do is click on the block installer depending on which installation, which system you have, and it will download an executable file which can be clicked on and loaded directly into your quilting software. Next we'll open our Quilt-Pro software, and I've opened a new workspace using my block wizard here in the upper left hand corner. Next you'll need to navigate to the quilt box tool on your toolbar found here in the lower right. Click on it and the window should open your block library with all your folders available, and we're going to access the blocks of the day. You see I've been creating for quite a while and I have them filed by years. We're going to double click and I'm going to go back to the month of July and use this pattern called Fireworks. The quilting design loads to your page, and it is a quilting motif loaded onto a block background. We'll need to click anywhere over here on the workspace indicated by the grid and then select the background, and we'll know that we've only selected the background by one item showing up here, and we're going to delete that background. So simply click on the little X or the delete key on your keyboard. Next, we'll want to select all of the pattern simply by using Edit, Select All, or Control A on your keyboard, whichever you find easier. And we've selected all these designs. You'll notice that the lines currently on this design are dotted lines, sort of to indicate this is a stitching or quilting design. We're going to go under Options, Pen Settings, and we're going to choose, instead of a dotted line, we want to choose a solid line. So select Solid and click Apply. And you'll see that made the changes to our design. So we are done. We can close out of here now. Now what we want to do is save this file as an SVG or a bitmap file or a Windows Meta file. So we're going to go under File and Export, and I'm going to load this to my desktop, and you'll want to change the file that you're going to want to use. There are SVG files available. I found that I have a little trouble with the quilting designs, so I can always choose a Windows Meta file indicated by a WMF file extension. And I have already named this, or will name it, Fireworks. And then click Enter or Save on your keyboard, and so that file has been exported And let's go over to Art and Stitch Design Software and use this file. Open your Art and Stitch software, make sure you're in a quilting design, and we're going to go down to Import Vector Artwork, and we're going to select that file we just saved. Here our preview box. If you want to see a preview, make sure your preview box is checked, and then just click open, and it brings in our design file. Now there's a little bit of cleanup before we can actually make this into a quilting design. We have got a little extra pattern up here. I don't know why. Just some little tiny discoveries we make when we open up a file. And now we have individual pieces of artwork. In order to create a quilting design, we'll need to connect them all together to make something stitchable. So we'll go to our reshape tool, and the first thing I notice is that we have an awful lot of extra dots. If you click on the other portions of this design, you'll find that yes, we have that all over. So let's go back to the select tool. I'm going to Control A or drag a box around, select all the items in my design, right click on my mouse, and we're going to go up to Simply Smoothen to get rid of some of those extra nodes. So we'll go ahead and leave the defaults, click OK. Now when we click on a portion of that design, use our reshape tool, that's a lot cleaner design, so we don't have as many nodes as we had before. Now the next thing I would do is go into these designs, and to make it continuous, I will want to break apart this design, and I'm going to simply click on that node, left click, and then right click and split the line. I'm going to separate this line from the V of the pattern of the fireworks, and then let's select that one, right click, split line. So now you see I've broken apart that scalloped edging from the V part, and I would work my way all around the design doing the same thing. Now you may find another way. There's a couple ways to make this design continuous, but this is how I found easiest to do. So what I want to do first is connect up all of these outer scallops by repeatedly selecting the design and breaking apart all these scallops from the V portion of the design. In the next slide, I've done that, and also then tied those scallops together simply by using the T key. That's T like in tie, T key to tie my scallops all together. And you'll see I've done that. I've gone all the way around the design. The next portion is to tie that scallop to the V. So I've done that already for the first 3 sections of the design. So now it goes all the way around the scallops and comes back to do the inside V's. You'll notice I also added an inner design to the design just to sort of fill in this extra area inside. I felt it was a little bit open, and I got that design from the shapes library and used this inset 8. So we'll go ahead and click out of there. So I also, in addition, tied that into the design. In the next slide, you'll see Using my reshape tool, I've worked my way all around and connected the V's together. Let's hit the space bar and zoom out on this. And you might also find, I draw your attention down here to this corner point, you might find some portions of the design that you need to clean up. This little extra dot is not really necessary, so we will go back to the reshape tool and we'll click on that point and then just press delete on your keyboard to get rid of that, and then bring this point over and tie it together. Just like that, we'll reshape the star and work our way around. If there's any extra little lines or dots, getting rid of them and then tying in. You'll see in this last one, I've split apart that spoke design and tied it, split that design and tied it into the V shapes. And here, I'll center that. We have created our design. We're ready to go back to the select key and assign stitches. Now you see my sewing preview, and let's sew that out using the sewing simulator. You'll see my scallops form all the way around, and then it forms the inside V's of the fireworks design. And by using the design that was given to you free from Quilt-Pro, you have a new quilting design. Remember to save your Art and Stitch working file, and then go into Save As and save it in your appropriate design software. Let's go back into our Quilt-Pro software, and this time we're going to open a fresh block design page. We'll keep the defaults as they are. Click OK. And back to our blocks, and this time we're in the August files, and I'll navigate down to this one from August the 28th. Same procedure. Let's click off the design, click back. We have the background selected, and we're going to delete that. So now all we have is the applique design. We want to select all, and we're going to export. And this file is called Bittersweet, and this time we're going to save as an SVG file. I've already saved it. There it is. Yes. And now we'll go back to Art and Stitch. Open a fresh design page and either go under File, Import Artwork, or use your toolbars. And there is our design. It looks all black, but that's okay. That's our SVG file. And remember, under Properties, if this box is filled, all those lines will fill in, and we can't see the lines of our design. If you unclick the fill and click Apply, now you'll see portions of our design. So now this design is ready for application, either as a cut file, if you're so lucky as to own one of the cutting machines You can save this file as a cut file and cut out your applique pieces, or you can create a embroidery applique design. If we look under sequence view, expand that, you'll see that each one of these is a piece of artwork. We can turn it into applique simply by, let's see, say selecting the leaf and using our applique button, and there we've created that design in applique, so we're able to cut out the material for that leaf on our cutting machines and stitch it out on our embroidery machines. Are you beginning to see the fun you can have with Quilt-Pro software? And let's go to one other feature of Art and Stitch. We can add fabric, either the fabrics that come loaded in your designs, Art and Stitch design software. I'll choose a green, and you can preview what that might look like when you go to applique it out by adding a piece of fabric. I'll go to this one here. I've selected some fabrics and did multiple applications to this design to get it started. So you'd save it in your Art and Stitch working file, and then again in your appropriate machine embroidery format, and you can play all day with this. Have fun with your Quilt-Pro design software. Have it work hand in hand with your Art and Stitch software, your cutting machine software, and your embroidery machine. And there are many, many more fabulous designs brought to you every day free from Quilt-Pro and already installed in the Quilt-Pro program. So I encourage you to have fun and play. Till we meet next time, I wish you happy quilting.